Hello, we have got business plaits and business sleeves today because we are going over my 2020 goals and resolutions and taking stock, seeing what happened. No pressure to have succeeded, but we will celebrate the wins when we get them, if we get them. Welcome to day 7 of Vloginica. I hope that you've been enjoying these videos and let's just dive straight in. I've got 3 different categories of goals for you because apparently I love setting goals. We're first going to tackle the New Year's resolutions that I had for 2020, and then we're going to tackle my 2020 goals, and then we're just going to take stock of some of my home stretch goals, which I made a couple of months ago to kind of be like, right, what do I want to focus on at the end of this year? And we're going to see how I'm doing with those. Not how I've done, because the year is not over yet, but just round it off nicely. So resolutions. My resolution number 1 was to read 40 books and tick, tick, tick. I did this first year ever that I have achieved the reading goal that I set at the beginning of the year. I think the pandemic might have something to do with that. I did that and I'm very pleased with myself. My resolution number 2 was use my local library more. And I definitely did this at the beginning of the year before the libraries closed because of lockdown. But since they've been open again, I haven't used them. I'm still so conflicted about how I feel about owning books. I did a massive bookshelf clear out and was like, I don't need to own books anymore. I'm just going to use the library. This is going to be great. And I think I still feel that around fiction books. But as you can see, my bookshelf is piling up, and that's because I like to kind of like collect a lot of non-fiction books around sex and gender and feminism because that's the work that I do, and I like to have a library of those things. So those books, I'm still gonna want to own physical copies of so I can scribble and annotate and like keep for reference basically. But yeah, I didn't use my library as much as I would have wanted to, but I also haven't left the house as much as I've wanted to. So maybe we can still improve in this area. Number 3, do regular kegel exercises. Yeah, I started out the year doing that well, and then no. Doing them right now though, because reading that resolution has reminded me. Number 4, go to Zumba 3+ times a week. Well, no, that didn't happen. Not my fault. Gyms are open again, but they're not doing classes, which is the thing that I love. And even if they were, I would not feel comfortable going. Number 5, do ParkRun more. Again, nope, didn't happen. But again, not my fault. For about a month in July though, every other day, I was running 5K. Number 6, eat less meat. At the beginning of the year, again, was doing really well on this, reducing the meat that Dan and I ate at home and the things that we were cooking, trying out new vegetarian meals, and then lockdown hit and just resorted to comfort meat food. I think this one for me is honestly a constant struggle. I am a very fussy eater, have a weird relationship with food and vegetables. I'm basically a child. I have the palate of a 6-year-old. And I would say that even during lockdown, I've probably still have been eating more vegetarian than I was in 2019, but that isn't really saying a lot. Definitely room for more improvement. Number 7 was get married and maintain a happy, healthy relationship. And oh boy, did we almost not do this. The married part, not the happy, healthy relationship part. But we did manage to get married in the window of time that you were allowed 30 guests at your reception. So lucky. And actually, maintaining the happy, healthy relationship was more of a challenge this year than we would have expected going into it, especially when you have me, major extrovert, needs lots of stimulus from lots of different places and people in order to be happy, and Dan, major introvert, who needs to shut off all outside world stimulus in order to be happy. And we're both at home together and I'm like, entertain me, I need stuff to do. And Dan's like, leave me alone. So there was a lot of navigating that dynamic. And one of the things that I've promised him is that when we're both vaccinated, like when we're allowed to go out into the world and like do things again, I am going to go away for a week. I don't know where I'm gonna go. Hopefully find some friends who just like want to go somewhere, like maybe in the UK, maybe abroad, and I'm just gonna go for a week and just leave him alone so he can like have a week in the flat by himself, because normally I travel quite a lot and he gets that, but he has not this year. So I need to leave to get out and do something and be around other people and he needs me to leave so he can be by himself in the most loving way. Resolution number 8 was read/pay attention to the news. I don't think I have ever paid attention to the news more than I have this year, and I cannot say that that was a good thing. So yes, did this, but would I do it again? 5 out of 10. Maybe would recommend, maybe not recommend. I will say one of the things that I was trying to do more of this year was get my news from journalism and not from social media, because that doom scroll. Number 9 was buy secondhand/sustainable clothing, and I did loads of this back in January. Lots of secondhand shopping, lots of Depop charity shop stuff, and then pandemic hit and I basically have done no shopping. I've maybe acquired some new underwear, new bras, and new leggings, none of which are sustainable, but and then I was feeling that itch for new clothing but didn't like want to actually buy anything new or add anything permanently to my wardrobe, and so I rented some items, and that's what this is. I rented this from on loan, loving it. Look at this, look at these sleeves. So I would say I did pretty good this year. I've mostly bought things that are already in circulation, mostly, other than like my underwear, and I actually didn't really buy that much, so that's got to be pretty good for the environment, not actually doing lots of shopping. And number 10 was play my flute. And I said this in a previous video that, yeah, I was really hyped about this at the beginning of the year, but like it never happened, and that's fine. And clearly I don't care enough. All right, now moving on to my goals this year. Consistent videos, 1 per week on each channel. Yes, yes, yes. Did this. Maybe took a couple of weeks off during September for wedding honeymoon shenanigans, but other than that, been pretty consistent this year. Number 2 was up the production value on the Hannah Witton channel in terms of new formats, series, experimenting with content, and yeah, pandemic lockdown doesn't like foster a great creative environment for me, but you will have seen this year that I did a few more videos that are like explainers of different sexual topics and used different locations in my flat and kind of like played around with the whiteboard, which I really enjoyed. Like that was just a lot of fun for me creatively to plan out those videos and film those videos. I also tried to do some more doodles, but most of the time I forget to do doodles for videos, or nothing like screams out at me like, oh, we should doodle this, like these doodles would be really great. There are a couple of videos where I had doodles and I hired an illustrator to do those for me, and I think those videos came out so good, and I love the illustrations and animations in those videos. So we have like experimented here and there with like different things. And then of course I recently got a new camera and a new lens and a plant and a light. So this kind of setup is a bit different now. So did we do this to the best of our ability? Here and there, a little bit, maybe. Next, I wanted to hit 600,000 subscribers on my Hannah Witton channel, and 650 was my stretch goal. And I hit 600k like very early on in the year, and I think we're now like almost at 640. So didn't hit the stretch goal, but that's fine. But also, I think I'm just not gonna set number goals for my YouTube channel anymore, because my YouTube channel like grew loads in like 2016, and it's very much plateaued. And whilst there's still like a really great audience there, the channel just is not growing at the same rate that it used to. And I just need to kind of like accept that and not on the numbers. I wanted to get the Doing It Instagram account to 10k so that we could get that swipe up link, and we did. And the growth there is steady and lovely, and very happy with how the podcast is going and how the Instagram account is going. I wanted to get 10,000 subscribers to my newsletter. My newsletter has gone through all sorts of iterations this year. It used to be monthly, and then during like the peak of lockdown, I was doing weekly because I was like, I need to connect and I need something to do. And now we're at fortnightly, which feels like a really nice balance. And I think I've got 9,000 subscribers to the email list at the moment, so I'm really pleased with that. Didn't hit the 10k goal, but that's fine. It was more about just wanting to build it. I don't feel like I mention it enough. I have a newsletter. You can subscribe to it below. It basically is the best place to keep up to date about like important things that I'm doing or things that I want you to know about, because not everyone sees the YouTube videos or sees me saying stuff on Instagram and Twitter, and usually the email list is the first place for people to find out about things as well. And then also you just get like musings and ramblings from me, and also sexuality spotlights and some like sexual facts and stuff, and current faves. So there's lots of exclusive content in the newsletter. I wanted to get 500 members on my Patreon, and we did this, and I actually have over 600 now in the common room, and appreciate you so much. The steady income that I get from Patreon this year has honestly been such a reassurance, such a lifeline, like keeping me afloat, keeping me able to pay my assistant, pay my editor, basically allowing me to still do everything that I did this year and not be worrying about losing out on brand deals or money from speaking events and stuff. Like, I just still have been able to comfortably make everything and not fret about finances. So thank you, patrons. Really appreciate you all. Number 7 was increase my assistant hours, and I actually got a new assistant in April. We met right before lockdown, and then all of the work that we've been doing together has been completely remote. I think I put this as a goal because I wanted to make more, and so therefore I needed to delegate more. And there has been like more stuff, more content this year because of the newsletter becoming weekly for a while, and just kind of being like, well, the only thing I can focus on is producing content. So I think my assistant's hours like gradually went up a little bit from when she first started back in April time, but maybe not as much as I was envisioning at the beginning of the year, but like really happy with the balance of things and where things are at. Number 8 was complete the business accelerator that I was a part of and launch the Hormone Diaries website. And yes, did those things. The business accelerator moved online after lockdown, and I found it difficult to concentrate on all of the businessy things, but I did it, finished it, learned lots of stuff, and the Hormone Diaries website is live and people can submit their stories. I went into the business accelerator being like, do I want to turn the Hormone Diaries into like a business? Do I want it to like make money and like do its own thing? And I came out of it thinking like, not right now. No, I'm good. Let's just like have this website, this free resource for people to access and share their stories and read other people's stories. But other than that, I do not have the time or capacity to like think beyond that right now. Number 9, build a LinkedIn habit. Nope. And honestly, I don't care anymore. Scrap that goal. Number 10 was get more sex and relationships training. Yes, definitely did this. Signed up to a sexuality educator certification course back in August and still doing that. It's all online. I recently did an IGTV video kind of like talking all about it because I'd just done a 3-day stint of live classes. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 p.m. till midnight of being plugged into Zoom and learning how to be a good sex educator. So yeah, really enjoying that. So yeah, definitely feel like I've accomplished / currently accomplishing that goal. Finally, take time off for wedding / honeymoon. And yeah, I did do this, even though it was completely different to what we expected and what we originally planned. Definitely still got that time off. Okay, and finally, my home stretch goals. So a lot of those 2020 goals, some of them was just like, I don't actually care about that anymore. But these home stretch goals I set recently, and I set these goals knowing we were in a global pandemic. So how am I doing? My first one was read 9 books, and I actually like know which those 9 books were, like my priorities for the end of the year. 3 are fiction, 6 are non-fiction. So I've got 5 books left to read. 1 I'm almost finished with. Another I'm like almost halfway through, and then we have 3 more. And I have until the end of the year, and I'm taking time off over Christmas, New Year, so I think I can do it. We'll see. I'm confident, but if I don't, I won't be mad about it. My next goal was Vlognica, get all of these videos done by the 11th of December so they can just roll out during Hanukkah, and then also have my January videos, like that first week back, done by Friday the 18th of December. Now, where I'm currently at, I'm on track to complete this, but it hasn't happened yet. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it. Something would have to go really badly wrong for us not to hit those deadlines. Number 3 was schedule enough guests for doing it to take us to the end of season 3 and start looking into season 4. And I wrote this when I was in a real panic about guests. I was like, I've got no guests, and I was like working like week to week finding people, which is so stressful. But somehow, suddenly, I've like pulled it out the bag. I think I just like panicked, like reached out to loads of people. But then also I've had a lot of people who like have books out early next year who are like, hey, could I come on your podcast and talk about this thing? Or like their PR has like reached out to me being like, we have so-and-so. We think they'd be a great fit for your podcast. So all of the episodes are sorted for the end of this year, and then we're taking a 2-week break. I've already recorded 1 episode that's coming out in January, and then I have like so many more scheduled in. Like, it's gonna be grand. Like, I'm feeling very relaxed that I don't really have to think about scheduling the next like a bunch of guests until like end of Jan is probably when I next need to start panicking about it. Number 4 was the Sexy Scribbles digital colouring book. Release that, get it all ready, send it out to people, and yes, it is out in the world. If you want to buy it, it is 14 sex and body positive colouring in pages for you to do in your leisure time, and you can get it at the link in the description. So yeah, I'm really happy that that's out in the world. Lots of people seem to be enjoying it, and yeah, I hope that you like it. Number 5 was have 1 tennis lesson, and oh boy, did I do this. I got in 1 tennis lesson before the new lockdown and you weren't allowed any anymore, and I, at the time of recording this, have another tennis lesson booked for Sunday because they've opened them back up again, but it's meant to rain, so I don't know if it'll happen, but 1 tennis lesson, that was my goal, 1 tennis lesson. And honestly, now that I know that exists and it's there and I know how to book onto the lessons, I definitely want to do more next year. My next one was figure out my 2021 goals. And at the time of writing this, I honestly had like no idea what I wanted to do next year, what I wanted to focus on or prioritize. I was just like feeling a bit lost. But I have actually managed to come up with a few things, definitely less and less intense than my goals were this year. You know, we've all learned something. Let's manage our expectations. But I will be filming my 2021 goals video next week, and then it will actually be the one that's coming out in January, so you will have to wait a while to know. So I did that. I kind of figured it out. I kind of came up with a few things that I want to focus on next year to give me like a sense of purpose, you know? I don't like moving aimlessly through life. I need to know why. Why am I doing things? And then my final homestretch goal was take 2.5 weeks off over Christmas and New Year. And obviously that hasn't happened yet, but that time is very clearly marked out in my calendar. However, a few things have come up. Not like work things, like work commitments, but just things that are kind of work related that I'm like, oh, I'll have time to actually focus on those things over those 2.5 weeks. What is wrong with me? But it's things like go over the notes from my sexuality educator course and actually like put them into a notes system that is easier for me to reference, because currently it's all just like scribbles on my iPad. And I'm having this whole thing at the moment about, do I switch all of my notes over to this software called Rome Research? Because with everything that I read and learn about sex and about gender and about our bodies, like I need a place where all of that information is, and to be able to like link all the different topics, because it's obviously all connected. And I like might read a book that's about X, Y, and Z, but then that links to something that I read over here, and that links to this video that I saw, and that links to this piece of research. And Rome Research seems to be the best like note-taking thing out there that would work for what I need. However, it is a daunting and time-consuming task in order to get all of my notes about sex, all of the current knowledge that I have, all of the different places that I've put these thoughts, and put them in one place and put them in a new place. And I'm like, well, I've got this 2.5 weeks off over Christmas, like that would be a really great time to do that, because the idea of doing it whilst I'm working like a normal work week, I just wouldn't be able to fit it in. Is that bad that I'm immediately like, I want to work over my 2.5-week break. But it's like, is it work? Reorganizing things? Sexy research notes? You can let me know in the comments, just either like, Hannah, take that break, or give me all of your nerdy insights into Rome research if that's something that you use. A lot of people are like, no, use Notion. But I don't think that does what I need it to do, the way that Rome research works with like connecting everything and linking pages together. Anyway, this has become a crisis video instead of like, reflecting, look how we did. But yeah, there we have it. Those were my resolutions and goals for 2020 and how I did considering the circumstances. And I will say that I have been very blessed and very lucky and very privileged this year that it hasn't hit me in the way that it has hit other people. Like a lot of other people have had a lot harder time this year than I have. I'm very lucky in that regard. I hope that you're well. I hope that you have some things from 2020 that you can look at and be like, I did that thing, that was great. And I will see you tomorrow for my final Vlognica video. Bye!